Have you ever felt like an emotion just hits you like a tidal wave? You know, one minute you're totally fine and the next you're just completely overwhelmed. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how you can learn to shift into what we're calling EQ mode, to ride that wave instead of letting it wipe you out.
You've probably heard this quote before. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. It's a nice idea, right? But let's be real for a second. When a massive wave of pure frustration or anxiety is crashing down on you, does it really feel like you have a surfboard? Yeah, for most of us, it feels a lot more like we're just drowning.
I think we've all been there. It's that sudden surge of frustration after a really tough meeting, or that anxiety that just hits you when you open a stressful email. Or maybe it's that flash of anger from a harsh comment someone makes. In those moments, it feels like you're completely out of control. So what is actually happening inside our minds? To really get this, let's first take a closer look at the problem itself, this unstoppable emotional wave, and our immediate, almost automatic reaction to it. Okay, so let's see what this looks like in practice. This is Finn. He's just, standing there, minding his own business, ready to tackle his day. He's calm, he's centered. This is our baseline.
And then, bam, a huge wave just hits him out of absolutely nowhere. Now, this isn't water we're talking about. It's that gut punch of emotion. 1 second Finn is totally fine, and the next, he's just been slammed by this incredible, overwhelming force. And look at him now. He's not thinking, he's not planning anything. He is just reacting. He's getting tossed around, completely consumed by that feeling. And then, when that wave finally pulls back, he's just left there, exhausted, maybe a little embarrassed, and pretty much right back where he started.
And this right here is the absolute key. The problem isn't the wave itself. Emotions are going to happen. They're inevitable. The real problem is what Finn did next. He let that feeling instantly and completely dictate his reaction. He didn't have the emotion had him. But what if there's another way? What if you could actually go from drowning to surfing? Well, the difference, it all comes down to finding this tiny but crucial gap between the feeling and your action.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. On the left, you've got reacting. That's when you are the emotion. You're the anger, you're the anxiety. But on the right, you have responding. That's where you create just enough space to observe the emotion. You can see it, you feel it, but it isn't you. This little shift, it's the entire secret to learning how to surf.
So how do we actually make that shift? How do we create that space when we're in the moment? Well, it all comes down to a surprisingly simple and really powerful technique. This is basically how you grab your surfboard right as that wave is starting to form.
The whole concept is called Name It To Tame It, and it comes from a psychologist named Dan Siegel. And the idea is just this: the simple act of putting a name to a powerful emotion, literally just labeling what you're feeling, can seriously reduce its power over you.
And this isn't just some nice-sounding idea, it's actually based on what's happening in your brain. When you name an emotion, you engage your prefrontal cortex. That's your logical thinking brain. This action literally sends calming signals down to your amygdala, which is like your brain's frantic alarm center. It's like turning down the volume on that alarm, and it literally reduces the intensity of the feeling.
All right, so we've got the theory down, now for the practical part. Here is your 3-step action plan for how to actually do this in the moment and enter what we're calling EQ mode. It all breaks down into 3 really simple steps. First, you spot the surge. Second, you do the 2-second label. And third, you choose your response. Let's just walk through each one really quick.
So, step 1 is all about awareness. You need to become a detective of your own body. Seriously, where do you feel your emotions first? Is it a tightness in your chest? Maybe a flush in your neck? That sinking feeling in your stomach? That physical sensation? That's your warning signal. It's the sign that a wave is on its way.
The absolute second you feel that surge, you hit your mental pause button. I mean it. Stop everything. Don't speak, don't type that email. Just take one slow, deep breath and inwardly say the words, I am feeling, and then just name it. Disappointment, resentment, stress. You don't judge it, you just label it. That's it. That's the whole step.
And now for step 3. Because you've paused and you've named the wave, you've created that tiny gap we talked about, you've basically surfed it to shore. And from that calmer place, you get to choose. So instead of just exploding, you could say something like, I feel very frustrated right now, so I need to step away for a minute. See? That is a statement of control, not a reaction of chaos. So let's bring this all together. The big takeaway here, the thing I really want you to remember, is that you have a choice. You really can ride that emotional wave all the way to shore.
And ultimately, this is what emotional intelligence is really all about. It's not about never feeling angry or anxious again. It's about choosing your response instead of being hijacked by your feeling. You are the surfer, not the wave.
And please, remember, this is a skill. It's like a mental muscle that you have to train. You're not going to be perfect overnight, and that is totally okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's just practice. So if you found this technique helpful, a great way to start is by just trying to name the very next emotional wave that hits you.
So I'll leave you with this question. What's the next wave you're going to try to name? Frustration, stress, maybe even excitement? Drop your answer in the comments below. Sharing it is a really great way to commit to the practice. And hey, if this explainer gave you a new tool for your mental toolkit, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.